En un mundo lleno de un montón de información, we wish to share our truth with you, as two bilingual latinas en Nueva York.
La mayoría de cosas que hablaremos serán basadas en nuestra experiencia, and we invite you to join us on this journey.
Welcome
to
Talk con nosotras con
Helen y
Steph. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back this week to this new episode. Before we start, welcome to any newcomers, new listeners, new viewers. We just want to start by saying to please leave a review. Guys, if you do like what you hear, the support is much appreciated and much needed. So we just want to start off by saying that. We want to thank you to whoever has been listening to us since season 1. We love you. So let's get into this week. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It was a really long week, but we made it.
Amen.
We made it.
Any roses or thorns?
Just a week.
Yeah.
Roses. No roses.
None? Something like what? Something positive, whether it was I don't know, it could be small. The small things, nada. Okay.
Okay, I have one.
Okay, see, I knew it.
I'm just playing hard.
Oh Lord.
I found a place where they have lushes of matcha.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And I'm like, it's gonna be my everyday thing.
Is it too much ice? And when it melts, como que le quitas sabor?
No, la verdad. It was good.
Okay.
I was walking and I was drinking the whole time. It was really good.
Okay.
Beginning to end.
That's important.
And it was the day that it was the hottest day of the week.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
I remember.
And thorns. Yeah, of course, but I'm not gonna talk about it. What about you?
I had a good week. I did some service. We went to a woman's shelter in Harlem. It was really fun. It was you've been there. We did a spa night, and we painted their nails. There's two of the volunteers actually do nails in general. That's their profession. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. She had all her kit, and we were able to use it for other people. So that was nice. They really enjoyed it. And yeah, it just felt like we were just hanging out.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was my week. Did I have any roses and thorns? Thorns. Thorns. So I think for me, I was feeling a little lonely this week. I'm not gonna lie. And I prayed about it. And I didn't feel lonely anymore. And it was also towards the end of the week. So I was like, I'm going to see my friends this weekend. So this won't last that long. But I think it was because last week, I didn't see you guys. So I kind of felt that. I was like, oh, I missed them. Yeah.
I know, I get it. It's funny because for me it was the same. I don't know. Everybody that I talked this week, they were feeling like that. Everybody. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then for me, that you say, oh, I'm happy that I'm going to see people. I didn't want to see people. But I was forced because I have a birthday, I have this and that.
Yeah.
And then we have to record. And now I realize it was good for me. But I'm a little stubborn. But yeah, I'm glad that I got to get out and I feel better now.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you. I'm glad you're feeling better too.
Thanks. So going back to the volunteering, I think we're going to spend some time talking about that today. What was do you remember your most memorable volunteering experience?
Yes. So this was back in Colombia. We have these indigenous groups that they still live in the mountains.
Yeah.
But it's hard for them because I don't know how to. It's kind of hard to explain, but like they're more civilized, and that kind of affected them. So what I mean by this is, the ones that are like by themselves, like hunting, and they don't need from us. They're like that's their thing. But the ones that they're like were introduced to clothing, food, medicine, all of those things are struggling because you don't get any of that for free.
Oh.
So they have to work, they have to leave, come, work, or ask for money and go back. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I don't even know how that happened or how to explain it. So there was this community that they were needing all of that. They were needing clothes, medicine, and then food. So that's a thing that happened like every year. So I got the opportunity to go. I think that was right before coming here. And then we went there. So we walked like a whole day. You have to walk up, going up, 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 up. And then it's enjoyable. That walk is really enjoyable. And then we get to sleep there in tents. And then when the day starts, like, I don't know. I remember everything. I remember there were doctors. There were people like that needed help with papers, with the IDs. But I think that like I was more I don't know, touched by it was the kids. I don't know. So they live there and that's their thing, but like they go in the water, babies. It doesn't matter the age. And they're always kind of like together. So they go in the water and they come back and they do that multiple times during days and they don't shower. So imagine you wearing the same clothes.
Wow.
So you start smelling like, you know what I mean? And then they have lice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, and then the little heads had like, ¿cómo dices caspa?
Dandruff. Tienen dandruff.
So I was like, it was too much. It was too much for me. And then we started like putting the shampoo for the lice and then it was crazy, the amount. So I spent the whole morning doing that and I felt like it was not enough. I couldn't reach all the kids. Some of them I just put the shampoo. It was like, me trying to do something in just one weekend. That was like my main role there because people were doing like different stuff and they were making like lines to get toiletries, clothing, like used clothes, and then I don't know. The thing is, like, I cried right after. Like, I was holding my tears the whole time seeing this, like, oh my God. It was so tiny and so pure because they're, like, pure. They have nothing. Even the adults, like, pure. And then you see their houses and then they made, like, a show for us. They were, like, dancing and playing their instruments. It was like, wow. It was like, I don't know. I still remember that until this day. And it's like, I want to do more of this, but I haven't had the opportunity, which is like killing me. But yeah, like that's my more memorable volunteer experience that I ever had. It was like, wow.
How old were you in like college, high school? How old were you?
Yeah, college. I was like 22, 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think the most memorable one was high school. Yes, high school. We had to do service hours before we graduated. That was part of our like commitment as students. And I graduated. I volunteered at this nursing home. So we would get to like talk to them, bring them like snacks. And para mí, yo notaba que, tú sabes, no tenían mucha gente para hablar con ellos, And they're a very vulnerable population that I feel like even their own families don't pay, they just don't, they're not prioritized. And from then on, I was like, dang, like, I want to do this more. And, I went off to college and I kind of didn't really continue. But I always like think about that. And I always think about like we need to remember the older generation, and it makes me sad because, they just want companionship, quieren que le hablen, quieren que, o ni eso, quieren que, like, they want to be listened to, they just want someone there. And I haven't done it since, and it's funny because it's not something that you can do easily in New York. There's a lot of there's a waiting list. Some places they don't allow you. So there's some limits here to doing that. But I just found out that through our church, the collegiate program has a setup. So I'm gonna ask one of our friends to see if we can do that. I can do that. But yeah, that was one of the most memorable. And then more recently, I did. During the week, you could hand out lunches to the migrants while they get their papers for to work and stuff. And that one was good because, you don't think about, we're able to buy lunch whenever we want. Gracias a Dios. Mm-hmm. Everything that we're given, God gives us. We have because of him. And at least I think. Yeah, we have that ease. We can do it whenever. We can go buy a slushie whenever. We can get a coffee. We can get matcha. And they don't. People are coming from other places and they can't do that. So, we give them lunch and the little kids, they be running to come back to get more juice. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they ask for more. We give them 3 or 4. Because I don't know. They don't know. When's the next one for some people. And it's
So yeah, we are talking about service on this episode, and then another word for service is volunteer, right? Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to ask you, what does volunteer mean to you?
So for me, I think we're all here to serve, whether we know it or not, or whether we're conscious about it. I feel like, in our jobs, we serve. In friendships, we serve. With our parents, we serve. So I feel like in many dynamics, we serve, and maybe we don't put words to that. So I think for me, it's something that showcases our humanity and how we show our love to people, how we show our care. And I think for us, or at least for me, service is something that comes natural to you. It's not something that I feel like you have to work for, because then it's not service. It's like, for example, let's say you're building a house, or you're rebuilding a school for, a lower, a community that's either, how do I say that? A community that's in need of one, and you're building a house. Yeah, you're putting in physical labor, but I think the end result is this is these are necessities that we all need. So I don't think that it should be considered work, because it's a given. Everybody deserves, all these things, all these not, bare necessities rather. So I feel like it's just something that's natural, and it shouldn't, when people who don't like service or don't do service, for me, it's why? I get kind of annoyed. So
you said that it becomes natural. So don't you think people should make the effort either if they don't feel doing it?
Yeah, they should. There should be a part of, I mean, there should be some effort, because maybe they were never introduced to it. Maybe they live a very, privileged life, and it's not necessary. Maybe they hire people to do certain things. I mean, I get it, but we have hands too. We have our mind, that we have resources that God gave us that we shouldn't just use on ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So for me, volunteering is since I have memory, I've been always doing, I will go to these places where these old people live, or we will bring food to places. even volunteer at church. And then I have the biggest example that is my mom. She goes the extra mile all the time without you even ask her. So I learned that from her. The difference between my mom and me is like I have boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, when you see people taking advantage of you, I can see that she doesn't. I'm like, mommy, but it's like how pure she is. She's like, and she'll realize 2-3 weeks later, it's like, oh, you know what happened? And she told me this and this. And I'm like, mommy. And it's now that you're gonna tell me, like when things like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
So that's funny, but like I learned from the best. Like she was the best example for me. So like yeah, volunteering is part of my life. And she always said, el que no nace para servir, no sirve
para nada.
Literal, like how can you like, right?
Literally.
That says everything.
I mean, these are gifts that God has given you. Our education, the fact that we're creative, the fact that we, you know, like we can encourage people, giving advice to your friends and your family, those are all gifts.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody has that same advantage. Maybe they have different gifts, but it's like we're supposed to use them for each other. What's the second most important commandment? Love one another as you love yourself.
Yeah. Let me read this verse. It's in Eclesiastes 9:10. And it says, todo lo que viniera a la mano para hacer, hazlo según tus fuerzas, porque en el Seol a donde vas no hay obra, ni trabajo, ni ciencia, ni sabiduría. So, yeah, anything that comes to your hand, just do it. I feel like laziness plays a big part.
Oh yeah,
on it.
That's the enemy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like laziness at all. When I see it in area, like, I think you see me like, you go. Like, because that's not something, like, I get it. I'm lazy. I postpone things. I procrastinate. But, like, we have to, I don't know how to say it, like.
Ponerse la pila.
Ponerse las pilas.
Because no one else is going to do it for us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste. Laziness is literally a waste of our talents, our youth, our energy. That's going to go away.
That's gonna go away.
Our belleza. It's going to go away. No, it's not.
And then I like this other verse in Matthew 20:28. Así como el hijo del hombre no vino para que le sirvan, sino para servir y para dar su vida en rescate por muchos. So this verse is talking about Jesus. God came to serve. He didn't have mansions, wealthiness. He didn't have any of that here because that wasn't the purpose.
Right.
So he came here to serve and to give his life for us. What are we doing? We have the biggest example, that is Jesus. What, like, you know?
Yeah. That's he's our guide. He came here so that we, well, obviously to die for our sins, right? But he also came as an example, as like someone that we can look up to and follow the example.
Yes.
Amen. Yeah, there's so many verses about serving. And then when going back to like the special gifts part, the things that like, you know, come natural to people. So there's a verse on Romans 12:6-9 about it. And it goes, in his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. So if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with as much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift for showing kindness to others, do it gladly. So I feel like with this, it's like you can have multiple ones of these, but like the ones that come natural are the ones that's definitely a gift.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you think you can like serve at your job, at your paying job?
Yeah. All the time. I know I do. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, all the time. Because I have a relationship with my boss where, she's also a Christian, and we talk about Jesus all the time. We encourage each other. We send verses. We send prayers. So that's an easy example because we both have, we serve, and we serve the same God, rather. In other examples, I was able to use like kindness, encouraging, being a listening ear. I used to be a teacher, so that was one part. So like all of these, I feel like we do in our day-to-day lives. And like I said earlier, like we don't know, but it is considered service. And, this isn't trying to discourage those who maybe don't have an easy way to volunteer, maybe. You volunteer with your friends. You volunteer by being there for them, by encouraging them, talking to them when they need, when they need someone to talk to and they need someone to vent to. I think it's, we see service as one thing, as like volunteering, as going to a soup kitchen, donating your clothes, like things like that. They are very important, but they're not the only thing that's out there that you can do.
Yeah, I feel the same. At my job, for those who don't know, I'm a nanny. I take care of a baby. And it's like, that you see those videos or people like hurrying, like nannies hurrying babies, or I don't know. It's just like how, and then I get paid to like spend time with her. But at the same time, I usually I go the extra mile. Like, I force her to, like, walk. Not force her. Like, I encourage her to walk, to say words. She knows sign language. She knows Spanish, and she knows English.
You don't have to do all of that. You're there to just make sure she's okay.
Exactly. And then I'm so worried always, like, if she eating, if she napping. Why is she cranky? Is her teeth hurting? It's like too many things, and it's like it comes natural, And yes, I get paid for it, but not for the whole like. And I don't even pay attention to like, do I get paid for this? No.
Yeah, no.
It's hard because some people there are like, I don't get paid to do this. I don't. And
So
it's
I'm
like
not doing
because you nothing. You right there sitting in front of a computer, just do it.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. That's a good point.
Unless they're taking advantage of you.
No, that's different. That is very different. There's a line that needs to be, we can't cross boundaries we always talk about here.
Yeah.
Very important. Do you know the story in the Bible about when Jesus visits Martha and Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how it goes?
Yeah.
We have it here, actually, I think.
So, Jesus and the disciples, they were like everywhere, doing their job, doing the work, and healing and preaching and, bringing the good news about this new kingdom that he was talking about. And then they came to Martha and Maria.
Luke 10.
Yeah. And then it says, her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me. Can you read the other part?
So, and then the Lord said, my dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There's only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her.
Oh my God. That's
Imagine.
So, this is funny because we're talking about serving and doing.
Yes.
And that's what Martha was doing.
She was.
So, like, here's the thing. There is nothing wrong, but at the same time, I feel like she was doing it to, like, show, like, she was doing it. I feel like she was doing
intention.
It was doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
I really like this story because we see both sides, and I I feel like my opinion is divided between the two because I think they both were doing good, but I feel Marta was doing it to show off. Like, I work. Jesus is here. Let me show him. Let me eat. When Jesus, what he wants from you is like to listen to him, to follow him, and the rest it comes natural. And yes, Maria, I feel like she could have been helping a little bit. So I don't know. That's my opinion. It's like you have a lot of people in your house.
Yeah.
They're thirsty. They've been walking them. They're hungry. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like it should be a balance there. But Jesus, I don't know. He can see the heart. You know. So I feel like he could see what was going on Martha's heart. So I like that part. Like,
yeah,
we never know the intentions, but he knew.
Yeah. It does look like here it's like, he is on like Mary's side almost. But I think this can be considered like a reminder when we are also like, for us, like when we sometimes are too invested in details and we're too invested in like what we have to do to earn God's grace. It's not an earning. Mm-mm. We don't have to be put together. We don't have to be quote unquote holy before him. Like Mary's listening. Mary's probably going to get up after he finishes talking and get people water. But, but I think the moral of the story here, and, if you guys have your interpretations, like we would love to hear what you guys think about this. But I feel like, I think there's some times where God kind of like corrects us. He reminds us, he convicts us that like, I'm where you should put your attention on.
Yes. And also because we don't serve to be seen or to be like, bravo.
God was his message was always about that, especially with the Pharisees. Like, when you fast, don't fast so that.
Yeah. When you pray, do it in silence. Not for the other world to see.
Yes.
Not like the Pharisees, like they were showing like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, and they would go like, oh, my stomach hurts because I'm fasting.
And they look all disheveled and like crazy and hair messed up and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of God's really, big messages. So I feel like that's what he was also saying here. Yeah. That's good.
I like the chosen version of this.
Yes, it's so good.
I love it because you gotta watch it, but like,
please.
The conclusion is Mary. They both were saying sorry to each other for like, I could have been softer to you, and then Mary said like, I could have been helping you a little bit. And like, they get the point. They got the point. It's like,
yes. What's the word? What's that word that they just did? Acknowledge? No. Accountability. They were accountable to what they did.
Yes.
Which is so helpful in any relationship, friendship, whatever.
Yeah.
So that is good. Yes. Watch that scene because it really brings to life what this story is talking about.
Yeah. And then if you feel a little bit lost, like, do you really want to serve? Mm-hmm. You never done it, or you've done it, but like you don't want to do the same. How do we start? Like, where do we go? What do we do? So we're gonna do it now.
Oh yeah. So like, we're gonna do a quiz with you guys. It's like a spiritual gifts quiz.
So the link is right there for you to use.
Yeah, we'll put it
together with them.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
We'll put it in the description so you guys can take it yourselves. So okay.
So we got the results.
Yeah. It wasn't like we expected, but
okay, so I like they give you like okay, I like that they give you like a percentage of everything, which is good. Like my higher is acts of service, which is funny because that's one of my love languages.
Aww.
That one and quality time, I like.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the first place. But like acts of service, like I always I do it on the details. Like I like helping people like with if this clothes her or when it's their birthday. I try to like give something to make them feel special. And then yeah, so I agree with this one. And then I like that they put verses
Telling
that you can explore that your
that
results,
gift. Yeah.
that gift.
What was your least? What was your lowest percentage?
My lowest was mercy.
Bro. That talks about the fact that you don't like lazy people or laziness.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Listen, it is what it is.
but you know they have this question here they have a couple of questions that they were funny and I was so honest and I answered like when people do wrong things do you get like annoying? I'm like yes. I'm not gonna hide that. And it's like that's why when we talk about boundaries, that's why like you have to be careful who do you go the extra mile because people you just feeding into something real bad. It's like laziness or like people is just taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware. That's the word that I'm gonna use. It has nothing to do with mercy. But I like it. I like that you can explore that gift on the verses. Okay.
Yeah.
Your results.
So mine was the highest was pastoral. The gift of pastor shepherd is the ability to care for the personal needs of others by nurturing and mending life issues. I would agree with that. I feel like if people come to me about something, like I just want to make sure they feel okay. I'll give like words of affirmation, stuff like that, or I'll call them if they want to talk. I think so. I think that's accurate.
What was the least
And my lowest was oh no, and this is what we're talking about, acts of service. You know why? One of the questions was like, do you like to work with your hands? And I'm more of a mind, like my mind can serve. My mind and my my mind and like creatively and like my encouraging and stuff like that, like my words and my
and organizing and putting things together.
Yeah, that's how I feel like I serve best. I'm a city girl. What can I say?
Okay. Please share your results with us, guys. And yeah, if you have any questions, we're gonna put the link again. Share with us your answer. We want to see it, and and I guess that can help you to like start helping.
Right, you'll see which ones is high, low. Maybe one you want to work on. I'm gonna work on active service more.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on mercy.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in this week. You know the deal. Leave us a review if you like what you hear. If you don't, feedback is fine. We love to know how we can improve. Send this to a friend, share, like, follow us on all of our platforms at
Talk con nosotras
everywhere. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week. Be blessed. We love you.
Bye.
Ciao.